那我先上去印清单，好不好？你帮我长个记。那我先上去印个清单。
可以的，那个快没电，待会儿再给你查。
各位同学早，我们今天这个要请国立东华大学历史系的贝克定国教授呢来跟我们谈由这个Eiffel Tower 这个，那么详细情形我们请这个Father Yona Montos 来帮我们先介绍他一下，他跟他比较熟啊。那我们在座还有连福龙连博士。大家用掌声呢欢迎一下，这个Mr. 这个Father Yona Montos 来。
谢谢张叔谢谢你们。今天我们非常高兴介绍Professor Timothy Baker to introduce us the culture and the technology in Europe by a very special symbol of the French, let's say, image everywhere. Professor Baker, he's an architect. He studied architecture in the United States. He took his PhD here, his master's degree in Taipei. And in Harvard, his PhD about the Chinese history, and he's teaching in Donghua Daxi history. And so it's a very great honor for me to introduce you and to explain to us this very beautiful integration of technology, culture, and the Europe. Professor Becker.
Thank you, Father John. It's really an honor to be introduced by someone that I have so much respect for. Very good. Okay, great. All right, we have everything here. Well, first of all, I want to thank also Professor Chen for inviting me here. It's really wonderful to be back here at Taida. I graduated from Taida in 1999, a long time ago, and there's so many changes here. It's really wonderful to be back talking to you again. Now, if I speak too quickly, or if there's anything that you don't understand, please raise your hand. 我可以说中文，但是他们是说我应该讲英文，对不对? You want me to talk English? Okay. All right. So, let's see. Brown told me that the students need to preview the lecture before the lecture. 这样子对不对? Really? Did you preview? I want to give you a test to see if you've really previewed the lecture. Okay, I have one question. Who designed the Eiffel Tower? Does anybody know? Who designed the Eiffel Tower? You don't know? Who designed the Eiffel? Did you preview? Does anybody know who designed the Eiffel Tower? 那个埃菲尔铁塔由谁设计的？
The architecture, I don't think so.
Ah, really?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you didn't preview. I think you didn't preview. Well, we'll see the answer to the question later. Okay, now, you all know what the Eiffel Tower is, right? Of course. Do you really know what it is? What is the Eiffel Tower? It's made out of iron and steel, but what does it represent? What does it mean? Well, today I'm going to talk to you about this thing as different things coming together. So, globalization, this process of many cultures all over the world, from east to west, from China to France and Britain, coming together and affecting this symbol here, technology. Right now, we think technology is this thing, these computers, but technology, advanced technology, is also this, and popular culture. What's popular culture? Is it Starbucks? Is it movies? Well, we'll talk more about popular culture. And we'll put the controller in so we can move. Okay. There. Now, so, what is the Eiffel Tower to us? Is it a symbol of romance? Really? You have people falling in love and kissing on the streets of Paris, or is it an Italian food festival at a hotel in Hualien? This came out in a newspaper a couple of years ago, and I was very amused by it. Why do they have the Eiffel Tower for an Italian food festival? Well, I think maybe they thought if we do the Leaning Tower of Pisa, maybe we'll fall over and crush our cakes. So they picked the Eiffel Tower, because the Eiffel Tower is something that we all know. We all, when we see this, we don't think, really. We have an immediate response. Now, what the Eiffel Tower is, there are many things. Now, first of all, it could be what we call a cultural icon. Icon, 中文是什么？你们知道吗？一个 icon 是什么？什么？一个图像，什么图像？标志性的。Well, where do you see icons? Yeah. Good.
Represent the Internet Explorer.
Right.
And many things can be an icon.
Great. So when you see that little E, that means IE, you know immediately what it is. And you go, you say, I want to see my email. I hit that. What does the Eiffel Tower mean? This is a cultural icon, and we have thoughts and feelings about it that come up right away without our even thinking about it, and they have different meanings to different people. So this means something, it means one thing here, and it means another thing there. Now, in addition to the cultural icon, we can say it's a symbol of Europe, of all of Europe. Not just Paris, not just France, but Italy, the whole EU. And in this sense, it is EU going out into the world. But originally, when the Eiffel Tower was built, it was the world, this whole globalizing world that was coming in to the Eiffel Tower. Now, in this class, there are several things that I want to talk about, and I'll explain them to you first to give you an outline of what we'll talk about when we're talking to explain this Eiffel Tower. So first of all, yes, what is the Eiffel Tower and what was it for? Why was it built? What was the context of its construction? Then, what were the events that led up to its construction, that led up to its building? And after the Eiffel Tower was completed, what messages did it convey to people at different times, to different people at different times? The Eiffel Tower has now been built for, well, almost 150 years, and it means different things at different times to different people. Also, we can think of popular culture. How do we ourselves think about popular culture? And what's the relationship between popular culture and elite culture? Now, when you talked about the icon, you were telling me things about popular culture. What do you think elite culture is? When we talk about this elite culture, what is it? Can somebody give me an example of elite culture, or the difference between elite culture and popular culture? No, you've already talked once. Somebody else. Yes? What? Classical music. Okay. All classical music? Yes, classical music is one good example. What are some other examples of elite culture? Can the boys talk too? What's some other example? What's an example of elite culture? Oh, come on. What's an example of elite culture? Can somebody give me an example, one example of elite culture? We're calling it, when you see something, how do you know it's elite culture and not popular culture? Well, probably because you don't really understand it. If you don't understand it, then you think, oh, it must be elite culture. Something very new. Something that only a few people understand. The other thing we'll talk about is this globalization of culture. How culture, both popular culture and elite culture, are merging all over the world. Usually we talk about globalization as something that happens in the 20th century or the 21st century with the United Nations, with the EU. But actually, globalization started much earlier. And the Eiffel Tower will show us something about how this globalization happens. So, we can consider some things in this lecture. First of all, the tradition of World's Fairs. You all know what a World's Fair is. Did anybody go to Shanghai to see the World's Fair? Nobody? Really? Nobody went to Shanghai? Oh my. You went. Did you like it?
Not really.
Why not?
Too much people.
Too many people, okay. Why did you go?
So it's a beautiful place with a lot of culture
Yeah.
in a certain area, and the buildings are very nice.
So you went to see many cultures in one area. Right. Well, the Eiffel Tower was built for a World's Fair a long time ago, in 1889. And the same reason that you went to Shanghai, people were going to Paris then. Also, we're talking about the development of this modern engineering as a science, where people will do calculations, not with computers, but with mathematics and physics, so they can build the tallest building in the world. And in this engineering, we're looking at two nations. The leading nations in the 19th century in the whole world, England and France. We're also looking at